Hello, my people. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to having our podcast show. Today, in our series, The Everyday Leader, we are building on the one thing that matters most for a positive future, the one thing that can change everything, and that is leadership. This is the 7th episode of Season 1. Today, we are diving into one of the most common challenges in professional life. I call it the fine line between leaders and managers. So basically, our conversation today is going to be about leadership and management and what we want to ask. Have you ever wondered why some people inspire us to dream bigger, while others focus on making sure things get done? This is the classic tension between leadership and management. Whilst these two terms, leadership and management, are sometimes used interchangeably, they represent two distinct rules that are both vital to organization success. So I always refer to Warren Bennis when talking about leadership and management because he put it simply, where he said, managers are people who do things right, while leaders are people who do the right thing. We have the right thing and we have doing things right. So today our discussion is going to be based on unpacking the statement by Warren Bennis by diving deeper and exploring how these two roles together to create a thriving environment. When you talk about a leader, you are talking about vision, influence, innovation, motivation, guidance, growth. Because leaders, as we always say, are future-oriented. They see the possibilities beyond the present and they rally people to chase them. John Maxwell says, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So the greatest attribute of every leader is influence. How do you influence your followers or your subordinates, those who are behind you to continue the journey with you? Now let's think about this for a second. What we mean by this statement is leaders don't manage tasks. No, leaders rather influence hearts, they influence our minds, and they influence our behaviors. Leaders inspire us, they energize us, and they create an environment where people can grow and success always flourish. I always say that leadership is a social process that relies on direction, it relies on alignment and commitment from followers. So as a leader, you need followers who are always committed to you. And you can only get followers to be committed to you if they trust and respect you. Remember, in our previous episodes, we said trust is the hallmark of leadership. And therefore, if you are not trusted and respected by your followers, you are not qualified to be a leader. Now let's shift gears a bit and move to management. Because management is a different ballgame altogether. It's about planning, organizing, and controlling resources to make sure that things run smoothly day after day, and also to make sure that the objectives of the organizations are achieved. Managers focus on efficiency, they focus on structure, and they focus on stability. So what managers do basically is they handle the house, budgeting, staffing, monitoring performances, so that the leader's vision doesn't just remain a dream. So the manager is always on the path to make sure that the vision of the leader becomes reality. That is why Peter Drucker drew the line clearly by stating, management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right thing. Now I want to ask, we've talked about leadership, we've talked about management. How do we tell them apart? Let me break it down for you. There are 3 ways of breaking leadership and management apart. I want to look at the focus, the role, and the approach. The fundamental difference lies in the focus. As we mentioned earlier, we said leadership is future-oriented. It focuses on the vision. It focuses on change and innovation. Whilst management is person-oriented, they focus on stability, efficiency, and structure. The other is a role in an organization. Leaders have followers who voluntarily align with their vision, whilst managers have subordinates who report to them for task execution. And then we look at the approach, which is the third one. We say leaders inspire and they motivate, whilst managers control and organize. That is the approach. Now back to Warren Bennis again. Warren Bennis said, the manager asks how and when. How is this thing going to be done? How do we get it done? When are we going to finish it? When are we going to start it? That is the manager. The leader asks what and why. What should be done? Why should it be done? What is the end goal? Why are we doing A, B, and C? That is the leader. So leaders and management possess different skill sets. They are not the same. Leaders thrive on creativity and emotional intelligence. Remember in our previous episode, that is the episode 6, we talked about leaders having EI, emotional intelligence, in everything they do as long as they are moving with their followers. And they also influence. But managers excel at problem solving, they excel at organizing, they are analytical because they want to make sure that everything is done right. In short, I say managers have a structured mindset. Now, despite these two differences, leadership and management are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they complement each other. When you combine them, they create a powerful organization environment. Leadership sets the vision and the tool. Leaders challenge the status quo. They inspire commitment. Management intent ensure that those visions by the leader are translated into practical plans and executed efficiently. Therefore, you need both to succeed. You can't be a leader and not have a manager or not exhibit managerial traits. Either you have a manager or you do the management as well. Same way, you can't be a manager and not being a leader or not having a leader. These two go hand in hand. Now, together, leaders and managers, when they move together, they balance innovation with operational stability. They build an environment of trust, growth, and collaboration, and they are able to address both strategic and tactical execution. So, John Cotter states that management is about coping with complexity. Leadership, by contrast, is about coping with change. Because leaders always innovate, which leads to a change. The most effective approach when it comes to leadership and management is to integrate the leadership qualities and the management practices. When you do that, you have a smooth and excellent working environment, and you are able to set the pace for your growth. Because Steve Jobs, he said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. However, I want to ask, innovation without structure, that is chaos. You are innovating and you don't have a management structure. It is chaos. Nothing will happen. But then structure without innovation, that is stagnation. You have the structure, but you are not thinking beyond. You have limited your thought and you are not growing. You are stagnant. The team is not moving forward because they have a manager, but they don't have a leader. That is stagnation. So therefore, to truly understand the symbiotic relationship between them, let's explore how different leadership styles align with core management activities. When it comes to planning, this is where the visionary and transformational leadership comes in. Planning is a management activity, but in order to plan properly, you need visionary and transformational leadership. A visionary leader sets long-term goals and inspires the teams with a compelling future. A transformation leader encourages innovation and creative problem solving during the planning phase. So in order to plan properly, you need a visionary or a transformational leader or both. Organization as part of management activities. In order to organize properly, you need a transactional or an authoritative leader. A transactional leader focuses on structure, he focuses on roles, responsibilities, and he ensures that the resources and workflows are organized effectively. The authoritative leader provides a clear hierarchy and rules, ensuring order and cohesion. Now, when it comes to staffing, which is also a management activity, coaching and participative leadership are crucial for building a strong team, building a strong staff. A coaching leader focuses on developing employee potential through training and mentoring. A participative leader involves the team in recruitment and development decisions, enhancing engagement and fit. So to have a good staff, you need either a coaching leadership or a participative leadership. Then we come to leading and directing the staff to work. If you want to lead, you're a manager. In order to lead and direct your staff, then you truly have to motivate and inspire. To be honest with you, when staff are not motivated, they won't work. There was a time I came across a video, where it says that as a leader, you walk into your office, you walk into your organization, and you realize that your staff have been demotivated. Because you don't motivate them, they always come there just to do the work, but they don't enjoy the work. So if you want to lead them properly, to direct them properly, make sure they are motivated and inspired. And in doing this, we have the transformational leadership styles, which aligns people with organizational values through high emotional intelligence and vision. The affiliative leadership style also builds trust and loyalty, while the authoritative leadership style provides clear commands and control when fast decisions are needed. Also, when you want to look about controlling, That is where we bring in the transactional and authoritative leadership. So what we are trying to say with all of this integration is that leadership and management are two sides of a coin. They are both very important. Let me make it practical. Imagine a CEO with a bold vision to enter new markets. He has his visions. That is leadership. But how does the CEO go into a new market without managers to budget, to plan resources, or to enforce structure? If this CEO moves without all of this, the vision will just collapse because they can't survive without some of these things. Or let me say, think about a sports team. The coach inspires the players to believe they can win. That is leadership. But you see the team manager, who we don't normally see or talk about. He handles the contracts, the logistics, the schedules, and that is where management comes in. So both are very essential for an organization to thrive. So the question is, which is more important, leadership or management? I was once asked this question by a student, and I had to laugh. Then I told him, it is a simple answer because neither can thrive without the other. Leaders provide the why and managers provide the how. So without a leader, a manager will fail. Without a manager, a leader will fail. Therefore, they are the same. None of them is important than the other. So Bill Gates, he captured this statement perfectly where he said, as we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. But let's know that empowerment only works when strong management practices bring that vision to life. So I dare say to you, if you are building your career, your business, or even your community, remember this: the future belongs to those who can lead and manage. Stay connected with us on all our social media channels and wherever our name pops up. We are building a community of everyday leaders, and we want you, your friends, and your families to be a part of it. Thank you for being with me on this journey. Until next time, remember that you are a leader every single day. I'm your host, Yusuf Caesar, and this is Having Up.